audience, if you think you have a question to ask anyone on the panel or a quick comment, you could also raise your hand as well. So, Brother Tony Tap, let's hear your words out. Give thanks again.
I feeling in my heart very touched. The many of the topics as you taken about the Bible and the colonialistic thing, because I know even though I prepare my path to be a Rastafari, I have it white skin in this present, and I live in even though many of discrimination for feeling the melanin within and being Rastafari. And it's difficult to understand the topics of the Bible like a tool for defend the life in these times when you don't believe it in the Bible like a tool. So I understand when the sister is saying that or the sister and the Icon Ameru saying we must leave the Bible, and they are so convinced we have to leave the Bible. But I understand when you don't believe in something, you cannot see the real issues. You can get it from the book of life like a tool. So I'm not saying they are wrong or we are right. I'm saying if you don't believe in something, you cannot see the real properties of that thing can bring you to your life like the book of life. Because if we remember in the ancient Kemet, they have it a legal history, and they have it the book of life, and also have it the book of death. And if we cannot see the Bible like the book of life, we cannot afford or reach the real implement or the real things they can bring us to the life like the book of life. And I say this because for me it's very difficult be a Rastafari white skin in the south of Chile in a culture. They have it a mythology, they have it a real weird practices and in the spiritual realms, and I have it to move in itinerally in a cool runnings for not being a part of them issues and not living in the things they believe, I know like a Rastafari chemetic in my brain. I use my dreadlocks like an organ, like and I empathize with all the people, and I see them. They try to use these things for many things they believe in. Then
what kind of tradition you have there in Chile? The Inca tradition?
Mapuche.
Okay.
Mapuche, but Mapuche, it's a combination word. It's Mapu and Che, and the meaning of Mapu, it's ground, it's earth, and the meaning of Che, it's people. So the meaning of Mapuche, it's people of the earth.
Right. And what about them that you're not you don't connect with?
It's not especially the thing of Mapuche, it's a part of the land. In this time, I traveling a lot in my land, and I travel in a many parts of the world, in a little part of the world. I live 1 year in Mexico, I live 1 year in Canada, and I almost my life living here, and I travel for a few weeks and months in another country. In another
but what
America.
But what about the much? You said you see them doing some things.
For example, here in the south, now I'm in Chiloé Islands. It's I don't know what is the name in English of the conjunction of many islands. In English, I don't know what is the name, but the name of the island is the Big Island of Chiloé, and it's the Big Island and a little island around of the island. And for example, they have it the belief in the mythology from two creatures are so weird, man, and so tricky, so nasty creatures, man. You know, one, the name is Trauco. The meaning of the Trauco in the mythology, it's like a dwarf, but an horrible dwarf. They capture women, raped them, and the women appear pregnant.
All right. I get you. All right, no problem, Tony. No, well, at the time moving on us there, but give thanks for that little contribution. Okay, now we have to move on. But I get your point real good there. What I would just say, just quickly.
I want to say a little
say quickly,
for finish.
Go ahead.
If sometimes I don't read the Psalms, that kind of people send me to the cemetery. You know, if I not took the Bible and read the Psalms, that kind of spirits in that people send me to the cemetery as they want to see me in their culture. So I say, I know for those who wasn't believing the Bible, but I see the Bible like a book of life. And if I don't have my book of life in my heart, like the last tool I got it, I can survive in this type of society.
Point well taken. Give
yes, my lad.
Who that coming there?
Baraka, Ras Baraka.
Ras Baraka. Yes, I didn't even see you, boy.
Yeah, me know. I try to work on the camera. That's why, my lad.
Okay.
You don't know the camera tonight.
Okay, so let me just go to Jasik before I come to you now.
I go on, pal.
And I come forward to the eye. You had his hand up there too.
Bless the love.
Yes, my lord.
Bless the love.
And then we go to
man.
Kafra, we're gonna come to the eye too.
Understand the Virgin man, the book of life, you know, that's natural same way. But what I say to my Lord, the Bible now, you know, before the Bible was created now, we man was living the Bible. We demand them now who follow Moses, who hold laws and commandments. And I know who the Bible talking about. And I traditional Africans now, Israelites. The Holy Bible now showing the past, where we come from. It was these books will come together now, show about and I same way, my Lord, and Empress. So you know, so we give thanks for the Bible again, same way. You was, yes, we know God create man in image and likeness. And I know the reflection of God. You was, yeah, man, from your, you know, from your man, you come at the reflection of God. And we must think of ourselves as, you know, perfect instruments of God, same way, as Garvey teaches us. But God himself now is his personal temple too, the personal structure. Because when God said, let there be light, and there was light, God was speaking. So we know God is in flesh same way. So we give thanks for the God who speak, one mouth and these things, you know. Yeah, man. So we give thanks for that God same way.
If everybody's going to unmute the mic for me now, here's some water throwing away like something. So, pardon me. Sorry, my Lord. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, my Lord, you know. So spirituality now, as we come and learn now, you know, is really the words of Christ, the words of God, you know. That is spirituality. The words of God, you know. So from the king endorsed spirituality now, we come and know, well, from you living by the words of Christ or the words of God, you're living a spiritual life. But religion now and these things now, they come and bring forth, you know, religion, as we learn, teaches us that God is not in flesh. It's a God we can't see. Religion now teaches us that, you know, you must dare to see God. If you're in there, you can't see God, you know. Religion, you know. So we give thanks for spirituality same way, which is the words of God. And to find the words of God now, you know, we go back to the history. The Holy Bible, you know, present history, present and in future things to come. Due to I now forsake the laws of Moses now. Boy. And these things, we end up in slavery. Now we end up in slavery due to disobedience. Black man end up in slavery. A few white men capture so many thousands of black people on the ships and them. How that could happen? Unless we rock soul we out. God's soul we out because we start to praise idol gods and all these things, false worship, blood sacrifice. Black people turn from the glory, the glorious past. I think there's a King David, King Joshua, all them time in there, man like Joshua and time in there, when we're living so glorious, praising with God and all nations fear we come on Lord that stigma then, you know, due to sin and disobedience. So the Holy Bible now, you know, in our book now, come like we guide to show you how to live right, to discern from right and wrong. So we give thanks, as I say now, for the guide, the Holy Book, you know. Yeah, man, the book called Later Salvation. Salvation, you know, as we come and learn, you know, is deliverance from sin and the consequences of sin, which leads to sickness and death. So when I read the Holy Bible now, it will show you now how to escape that. Love your neighbor, love yourself. If you love me, keep my commandments. All these things written in the scroll the same way, and them things put in the Bible. The African spirituality, system of the virgin reason, all them things they put in the Bible. So
no, it is not. Where's the seers right in the Bible? Where's the wisdom keepers right in the Bible? Where's the harmony rights in the Bible?
That's a question, beloved.
Where's the healers right in the Bible? Because right now you're getting boring. And as someone else that haven't spoke, I think it'd be nice to let them speak and hear some different perspectives, because you're saying the same thing you said when you came on about 20 minutes ago, and it's going in circles.
Can I say something?
Yes, Brother Cypher, got you.
Is he?
Yes, give thanks. Really, I want to address Sister Nigista Saba, please.
Please do.
What I would like to say is, you know, you speak of having a system, you know, a system that is beneficial to.
Baraka, don't worry. Sorry, go, my brother. Sorry.
Yeah, you speak of having a system that is beneficial to all of us, you know, to everybody, which is an African spiritual system. And
Are you using it? Are you using it? Because right now, Empress Phyllis is blind.
Hold on, sister. Can I just say what I want to say, and then we?
All right, let's talk about the healer's right that we're not using and the medicine teachers that we're not using. Let's get to the matter at hand. Because right now, these elders are fading away.
Let him ask the question, sister.
Due to neglect and not proper
respect.
help. So if the Bible know all of these things, manifest your healer's right.
Let's
start healing up the nation.
Let's hear his question. Let's hear his question. Got you, King. Let me hear you.
Much chit-chatting. That's what.
Yes, I would just say that all of it, you know, even the spiritual systems, the healing systems, and all of those kind of things, you know, amongst people of Rastafari, I personally know people with doctorates and herbalists who are using the medicine along with their religious belief to continue the, you know, the ancient tradition. You know, they bring the ancient tradition to this modern day true Rastafari. I know Priest Isaac personally know, we have brethren who are physicians in these fields. So how do they fit in? How do they not fit into your scheme of things? That's one question. And another question, in the search for unity amongst one another as a people to make a forward move, putting away what is past, what is old. I would say that to put those things away, do you not understand that or not say do you not understand, but I would like you to understand in the Bible there is a discipline. That discipline is the discipline of the Bible, and I'm not talking about the doctrine. I'm talking about the discipline in the Bible of working in harmony with the universe, of the cycles of time. The Bible is really a book of kingship. It's not a book of a single little man. When they're talking about a man in the Bible, for instance, as I was talking about Akan, he's a king, and these are kings of nations, of people, because the book of the Bible is a document of kingship, and the distance and the way that kingship travels through the societies which are being created, which are created, which were created, which are being created and reborn, and the discipline which is delivered from the Bible, the discipline of the movements of the sun, moon, and stars. The rhythm is what African spirituality is about. Now we want to say, oh, we don't have no good, we don't, you know, there's the Queen Mother in all of the cultures, whatever culture is on the continent. And when I talk about Africa, I don't even call it Africa. I talk about Ethiopia, the continent of Ethiopia. And the continent of Ethiopia is ruled by a spiritual kingship, a royal line, which I personally believe are all connected from the east to the south to the north to the west. That the people who control, who you're reading about in the Bible, are the kings of nations who control the power of the world. And you're reading about their struggles and different nations trying to overtake because they've got different interpretations of the spiritual system. So you don't believe me, my brother? I can see you shaking your head. You can't believe it.
No, I definitely don't agree with that. I don't agree because if they were so if they're kings, right? Are these people that you talk about men?
They come to your Baraka, don't worry, that's what that. Go to your Harry's man.
Yes, brethren, they are men. They are men, you know, and they're men who carry the story. They carry the legends. You know, the legends come through time and time and time again. As they say, nothing is new. So the legend.
And you think they're directly connected to people in the Bible? You actually think that they are connected or related to people in the Bible?
Most definitely, yes. Most definitely. I'm sure of
You
that.
know, those characters in the Bible wasn't meant to be taken as literal characters.
That's
those characters are not real. The Moseses and the prophets and the
Brethren, I said in the legend, that, you know, listen to what I'm saying. I said they are in the legend. The legend is the story. So the story,
just the story, right?
The legend, brethren, the legend carries the spirituality. The legend carries the spirituality in those people. So if it's Moses, or if you want to use Moses, but there's many, many kings going throughout the sea. Going throughout the script of the Bible, there are many, many kings, but those kings are what they are trying to portray when they're giving the legend is the spirituality behind the legend. But it is so. This is where we become separated from the spirituality. Is finding literalness in the story, literally in the character of the story, instead of finding the spirituality of the legend in the personality of the character. You understand what I'm saying?
But I believe Amun Heru strong on the point that the characters in the Bible don't exist no way, no how. Legend and that's it. Don't even cross the border. I think that's really where he is.
No, can I say something?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Well, so where the Empress gone still now? I know you were addressing her. I see she's come off the screen, Sister Seba Negis. Okay.
Well, see, I thought you were saying that.
Okay, sorry, man.
Go ahead, Kufu, what you were saying?
No, I could have sworn I heard him say that these are kings, real people that are related to.
Right.
You know, characters in the Bible, and it was passed on to them. That's what I thought I heard him say. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what it sounded like he said. And you know, that's how they try to tie it. It's just no proof that any of those people existed. You know, we can dig up people from Kemet, right? We can dig up these great men, Imhotep. We can dig up these type of men. We can dig up bodies of people who actually existed thousands of years before the Bible was even created. We can dig these people up, but what's funny to me is we can't dig up any of these people in the Bible that people think actually existed.
But
You
we
know
can
what I
dig
mean?
up the legend, brethren. We can dig up the legend.
The legend.
The legend is the story. The story encodes the science. So
okay, but did you know those stories were plagiarized from older African folklore? Why can't we just go back to the source? Why do we have to use the Bible? Why do we have to incorporate the
because
Bible?
they're genetically sick. That's what I'm saying, Kufu. It goes back to the epigenetics. You don't see the sickness here on this panel?
I get it. That's why I'm just sitting back. I'm listening. I'm just listening. Like, and some of this stuff is like, it just seems like they can't let go of the Bible. They can't find older African spiritual system. There's so many of them out there that are much more.
Can I say
fit much more?
But that is the point. The point is that as the Bible is used as a societal instrument, you know, when I say it is an instrument to have the society function in conjunction with the movements of the sun, moon, and the stars. So
where did they get that from? Where did that come from? What is the origins of what they know?
That is exactly it. It's Kemet.
Okay, so why? Let's just deal with that then. Why do we have to deal with
because can you personally? I mean, I don't know about you, but I can't personally read hieroglyphics. Personally, I can't.
Metal Netter. It's called Metal Netter.
Yeah, but I can't read it. I can read English.
Okay. Did you know that? Did you know that there are classes you can take to actually read the Metal Netter?
I'm not saying that there. Of course there are.
Okay, hold on there. Doing good. Give me 1 second before we go to the class. I like the conversation.
He knows there is, and he hasn't took the classes.
Okay, hold on there, sister. Give thanks. Very, very healthy discussion, really. Let me hear what Rastafari say. They still had his hand up for a while, but because of the level, you know what I mean, man, doing this for years, you know, I know some people saying hands up and whatever. Give thanks. I have to respect my panelists, and the discussion is very healthy. But let me hear what Rastafari is saying. My brother, thanks for your patience.
Yes, honorable priest, give thanks. Give thanks to everyone. Yes, Father. Well, I apologize to the camera. The camera not work right now. I don't know what, but as long as the item can hear me clear. Now, the thing I said is that what Sister Nigisa said regarding the DNA and is quite important. And we hear some things that repeat themselves, and we're gonna need to move forward now, especially where we come from a Rastafari perspective. The figure say all of them they are right now a Rastafari, deal with Rastafari. So from that perspective, you know, we know that the Bible. Fire, hold on, you hold on there, because you don't have this DNA thing where we are talking about. You know, the perspective where your thing come from is different. So I'll show you that in a minute. Well, let me just start. Because I listen for a while and camera never work, but here what I go on now.
Good.
Yeah, Ras Baraka from the Rastafari Global Council.
Disrespect the eye, man.
No, make it good. Make it good. No, make it good. Make it good.
I don't have a different DNA. We're coming from the
hold on, I'm not done yet.
Hold on, man. You're talking to the back.
I prayed in my life. Yeah, Fire, I prayed in my life. Hold on.
Make him good. Baraka, go back on that subject. Baraka, don't go back on that subject. Just
no, but the item talk 2-3 times. It's important.
Go ahead, man. I'm giving you the floor. Take your time.
But watch this now. Watch this now, yeah? This is the thing, you know, when we have a family meeting, yeah, African family thing, this is where I always come. And one time I talk, I always bring out the spies and perpetrator who want to stop I and I from speak. What go on? Let me talk now. I and I was holding a reverence. I listen to the item. So the item is supposed to have a reference. And if you say a Rastafari, then I expect the eye to listen to I and I. Because then one vice will say, no? So you owe me a fire. Watch me now. That Bible will not glorify. I'll be a killer night. Right? Moses is a killer. Abraham is a killer. Yo, King David is one of the biggest killer in the world. What you talk about? King David threw tens and tens of thousands. What you talk about? What you feel like? And at the Bible, the Pope did a hype up, used to hype up the the soldiers them were coming to Africa. Yeah, hype them up to know, say, yo, yeah, read Deuteronomy. Yeah, and think about it. Yeah, it's been always been used as a brainwash tool. And then Monday we are talk about respect as the Honorable Jasika, my lad, repair. When the Empress said to throw the thing in the fire key, it's the first step because you can't keep taking the same thing. That how you go refresh your DNA and your mind, because remember, say, yourself have to free your mind. My gosh, and then you make some talk and I talk about the Bible in some like sweet way when I'm murder.
Over and over again.
Every scripture, every line is murder. Yeah, and you call that some kind of spiritual, and then now look on all these cults and things that are making be a different interpretation of the Bible. Why you don't want piece of that? Man, in a gas chamber, show themselves all kind of cult that exists because of this thing, and you know it was beaten into I and I. Yeah, I feel sorry for the man where just can't move. You're just stagnant. And
I agree.
If you're really internally wise, and if you really were a sincere seeker in the first place, then that's where you wouldn't have got lost. Because the sincerity in the search, because some did go astray and did I go into the Bible and I read the Psalms. I myself Psalm chant 7 times a day and all these things. Yeah. And then no, you have to come past that door. Stop, put it away or burn it. It's a good way if it's not decolonize the mind.
Yes.
Understand this process is a decolonization, King. Why priest? You should be teaching the fireman them. Yeah, I am not. I am not with the level. I want go on yourself, my lad. Honorable. See, and you already know the other medication, the physical thing. And you know the repair that need to go on. And what it is now, it's becoming more dangerous, I praise. Seriously. Like, it's too dangerous right now to have the man them a self-taught the thing. You have to shut them down. Right? You have to get shut down right now because, hear me now. So, you are dealing with a book of murderers. And you want to come talk to me like, say, yes, this is some book of life, inspiration, this and that. No way. And King David is a man of the heart of, and remember the Bible said King David is a man of the heart of the Almighty. So that means that God is just like him. The same God will change his mind every minute. The man show a piece, the greatest one and greatest servant Job, in show a piece of punishment on him. And in show a piece of punishment and take away killing wife and pick them and give him a new one. How idiot is that? Idiotness. And virgin, everything, come on. That was the old days, as one Rast earlier said, hey, it was yesterday. So the man then is hanging on to it and prettying it up now, giving me the levels of a mental, some kind of cycle. Well, obviously the trauma, what the Empress expressed before, but when you persist now, I'm seeing a mental illness, man. Right? And I'm seeing, what I'm seeing now, I'm seeing a cult leader. Right? That's what I'm seeing now. So I'm just saying to the man them internal meds, because me and no man father, me and no man elder, and them sitting there. Yeah. But I worry, don't come to me with foolishness. Right? See? I definitely a sincere seeker. And one can't go around this thing. You want to come tell me, but you just transform the thing right now into Prince Emmanuel, Asa, Lord of the Living Black. You see me? Because
I can't go there. That's too much of leaving the Bible alone.
Yeah, change it right now to the right perspective. Yeah.
I agree. I agree with the brother. The brother's on point.
The turban is official. You Baba Shanti has come and took the official, the good look, the upfrontness, but you don't know, so there's changes, my lord. And if the Prince Emmanuel asks for 7 liar priests, like when someone comes to the priest and say, my priest, I have an eviction in the morning. Not only will the priest give a good eyes and word power song, but the priest will also, be able to tell her to fill out the N244 and this and that and fill it out there and these things. But say we are disobedient to Prince Emmanuel, disobedience to the levels, I grew up. And then now you have the converts them from these religion. And then now when Rasta creates something so great, so revolutionary, It's a way of life where counteract this type of brainwash, exactly this, right? This is where we reject anything from them. That's where we know, wow, that's what make it simple. That's not where we start, find my Lord. That's where we learn from Prince Emmanuel and all of the first generation. So why we so disloyal to the first generation and the second generation then? And the third, because we know so the fire with them, they have, and that create the change why even all around the world, Rastafari is heard of and represented in this upful way. So we now have to just allow that. And my high priest, Jano, you know.
Thanks, Baraka. Yeah, I got before I come to
and Kufu was reasoning with the elder Ross, and he just got rudely cut off. So the other ones that already spoke could repeat the same thing they was talking when they first got on here. So it'd be nice to let Kufu Amun Haru finish his build with the elder.
Oh, well, yeah, but let me just respect a lot of ones had their hands up even before that, you know, but I'm going to come back to that.
Yeah, because you cut them off.
No, I wouldn't say cut them off. No, I wouldn't say cut them off at all. I'm in charge of this here. I have to make sure it runs properly.
Yeah, well, that's how
I would not say cut them off. I humbly asked them to just give me a moment so I could address the other ones that definitely were waiting for a moment. I know Ras Kafra wanted to come forward. I don't know if you still wanted to come forward, brother. It would be you first, and then I go to Litmore. And then we could come back to that reasoning with Cypher Selassie and the King, if they desire. Yes, my Lord.
Yes. I think about two things I wanted to address. The Honorable Rasa Isarn had spoken about how do we find self, you know, from a comedic perspective. Self could only be realized within the context of community, you know, in the context of relationship, you know, and the art and the science of affecting those relationships. And that's where we see His Majesty really shining out, you know, as one with the highest level of divinity, you know, because he was able to balance relationships and maintain a harmony within Ethiopia during his time. And we know what happened after he left, right? So when we talk about spirituality, we must always remember that spirituality essentially is about how we deal with relationships, you know? And the fact that the Rastafari community and the African community has been using the Bible, but somehow we can't seem to cooperate with each other, to do things, to get things done. It really speaks to the ineffectiveness of that whole foundation, that biblical foundation, because it has failed to mobilize us into action, to work together, right? So that is one thing I wanted to talk about. The second thing, the sister talk about restoring, right? There's a Guyanese brother who did a book named Libation, Dr. Kimani Nihusi, and he went into the essence of what libation and these things really are. And he showed that libation was a part of a larger offering, African offering complex, right? And the Kemetic word for it was Hetep, right? And Hetep essentially dealing with the whole aspect of offering had to do with balancing and restoring and refreshing.
Yes.
Because the African view was that you know, in the cosmos you have all these things happening, you know, as we know, we talk about Ma'at, right? There's this harmonious balance that exists, and many times it can go what I would say, it could become a little turbulent. And so what they did was to make offerings in order to restore that harmony and that balance and to refresh it. Things naturally over time degenerate, right? And so how do we now regenerate and restore?
right? It is through that understanding of the offering complex, right? It comes through to when we read the Rupert M. Heru that speaks about the Seket Hetepu, the farm or the gardening of offerings, right? To me, what it says as someone who farms, you know, is that for us to restore and refresh ourselves, we have to make that connection with nature, especially through farming, right? We have to return to that. That is the foundation. His Majesty said that. He says that agriculture is a sacred task, right? Graciously conferred upon man to serve as the something like the basis of his well-being and to establish the foundation of his wealth, right? But focusing on what he said initially, that like, agriculture is a sacred task, you know, is very important because of the fact that he used the word sacred. He even says that without an agricultural foundation, then essentially you don't have a nation, you know? So if Rastafari is looking to establish itself as a nation, the foundation has to be agriculture. We have to be able to come together and to establish these things, you know? And if we cannot do that, if the Bible has not been influential enough to do that, then we have to replace it, right? And I think that the Kemetic foundation is much more important because it has credibility. The fact that that system was able to establish the greatest civilization in human history that has lasted for thousands of years is testament its effectiveness. Whereas on the other hand, those who are advocating for the Bible couldn't even save Israel, right? Because we know it's from one disaster to another for hundreds of years exterminated. Now you have an alien set of people claim that heritage, right? So that's the situation that we're in. That's my 2 cents that I wanted to touch on.
Well, here is the
thanks,
family.
Rastafari.
Give thanks. I like that. The ones in the Bible didn't even save Israel. That was a good punch there. Here is one now. Little more after you. In respect of time and, you know, respect to everyone that is here, I'm really thankful for everyone that, you know, I mean, it was a real humble discussion too, you know, I mean, I know everyone didn't get a chance to say everything. That's why I really, if you know that, he said too much, but just bring it on it, because it's just a lot of knowledge here, a lot of wise minds here, and a lot of vibes. I mean, it's a good vibes. I love vibes. But listen, let me just bring in. Yeah, go ahead. Say the word quick.
Okay. Yeah. No. Yet you know
what? Well, I would, you know, I still would come back to you, and I'm gonna go in.
Complete what the man do, and then I might like to speak to something, right? Because as much as I man completely support that I and I make one shift from this emphasis on the Bible.
Yes, King.
My attitude towards people that still lingering with it is not one of intolerance.
I hear you. I know that.
Because I come to the same book and I find my way to where I am at now. And to me, that's an indication that anybody else can do it.
Well, tell you what, let me just make a little more talk and then I'm going to bring it to you. And we just kind of like to seal it up, a kind of how everyone, the special visitor, get a little word. And yeah, little more. Give thanks for coming in again. Eh? Blessed Lord.
Yes, Chris. I want to short me before I still have to give thanks, my Lord.
Oh, okay, your hand is up. It's true. Yeah. Pardon me. Your hand is up. Well, yeah, you definitely, of course, my Lord. But yes, go through a little more.
I love each and everyone, you know. Yeah, greetings. Yeah, hear me?
Yes, Olmec, man.
Yeah, man. The Olmec, you see. Yeah, King Selassie, I'm not discriminating. Greetings to each and everyone. Whether in the temple, you know, honor the greetings to all of the ones that honor the priest, you know. I do thing, you know. So, you know, back to the topic, you know, about the Bible, if it really is valid, you know. My thoughts is really like half of the story has never been told. So it's half of the story, you know. give thanks for the Empress are born on fire still. But I
Yes,
feel like
sir.
Marcus Garvey, philosopher would have upgrade with, you know, the department that's still, you know. Well, you know, the trauma and the DNA beaten down what we get, you know, everything beaten out of every African spirituality beaten out of it. So, you know, many great ones before we make a stand, you know, and died for the same people who would just, you know, stand aside and look because them traumatized, everything beaten out of them. I mean, so, you know, as even Ross, I honestly say, you know, one of the earlier one, you know, what we get is like, if we don't do this, we don't do that, we're going to get eternal damnation. Yeah. African philosophy I teach, we say, we'll go back to the stars, you know, where we come from. So a lot of the story not really told, and we're still learning and still researching. If we're not unified, for example, like the Indian, them unified, them take it to the courts when them case. You know, black people have to find that before them can emerge even forward, because you know the social impurity and the way we communicate and the attitude, but really kind of throw off each and every one away. So if we don't really take things on a level, you know what I mean, we personal behavior as men really get, where that's, you know, observed by the system deep, you know. So if we not have a unity, then one man I go jump off like, yeah, I'm gonna save the world, and who they behind him, you know what I mean? So the most we can do is just go on all the heights and all the reasoning on a level, and until we find that unity there, which is strength, then, because most of the thing them really blot out from with the true land of Israel, really blot out. Some of the thing them really leak out. But His Majesty, Ethiopia, leak out. So we get half of the story still, but we have to just do research now and get the true story written from the walls, you know. Greetings.
Rastafari.
Blessed love to each and every one. You know?
Well,
Yeah.
Jassy, give me that word there, you know. And yeah, this might be the I see the word one time then. And then I come around, I'll make I said come to and then seal up with all the other ones who desire to say a word.
Yeah, my Lord. Well, as we learn, you know, Rastafari, you know, that is still a CIA name same way, you know. Rastafari, you know. Ras, head, Tafari, creator, head creator, you know. So we come and say, from your Rastafari, you know what I mean, a fallen Selassie, the head creator. You know, to have trust in the Lord now is to really obey and follow what the Lord says to do same way, you know. Even as we come and say, Prince Richard Edwards, he come with the Bible and hymn book way same way. And he said that leads to salvation same way. You know, as Marcus Garvey come and teach we, the greatest wisdom to be found in this age is written in the Holy Bible. Words of Marcus Garvey same way, you know. So we give thanks for the Holy Bible same way, you know. Yeah, man. And we give thanks for life and the mighty life giver. We give thanks for the Tiger's Temple still and all up for reason, you know. We give thanks for the time and the moment. Well, going forward, you know, in more time to come still, you know, more reason going to take place same way still, you know. Heart of love, blessed love.
Well, I could just engage one quick question. I might just in sealing up, depending on the spirit, I might ask each one a quick question too. So let me ask you one now. Just okay. So judging from your reasoning, and you're one that you, as you said, you push the Bible, not only a good book, but the Holy Bible, as a Bobo Shanti, because I mean, I listen, this is why I asked certain question. I listen to the reasoning properly, you know, and I just in the energy and I listening to points. And yeah, I clearly said earlier that ancient Egyptian scripts have been placed into the Bible. In fact, a few ones were actually disagreeing with the idea. So when we look at certain writings that we speak of before, when we can really look at, for example, the hymns of Aten and see and compare them to certain Psalms 104, etc., and see they're like word to word. What would your outlook be on that? Well, you already said, that Egyptian writings were borrowed into the Bible. Okay, fair enough. But then what leans on that? How you see the validity where it would appear like the Psalms would be secondhand because the Psalms is younger than the hymn to Aten, and the two of them almost word for word. And also, I wanted to ask, also, with that as Bobo Shanti too, when King Emmanuel speak about, well, King Emmanuel does say that the Bible having wrong and right, and going up the Nile, we're supposed to throw it in the water. Now, if we're supposed to throw it away, is it the holy book? I mean, is it a good book we can use, but we don't need it no more, we can throw it away? That's my question today. Questions. We have time, man. You just jump in a quick answer.
Yeah, 500 years later, and we still asking that question?
We come into your system, come into the field. Go to King, go to.
Yeah, my Lord.
He just spoke. There we go. Y'all have a blessed night. I got to tend to my grandbabies. Not being rude or anything, but I need to go tend to my grandbabies.
Love, respect.
This is redundant right here.
I give thanks.
Bless up, everyone. Give thanks for your time and energy.
Love. Give thanks. Yeah, King, go through.
Yeah, my Lord, bless the Lord. Well, as we come and learn, due to the famine what take place some creation time there in Egypt, the Israelites came into Egypt. The whole world came into Egypt for food. So enough things was written the same way in Egypt. History was recorded in Egypt same way. Because them was ruling the earth at that time same way, Egypt had world power same way, The king put everything in Joseph hand same way, So we know Egypt had enough history written, Concerning the Holy Bible now, when man going up the River Nile and these things now, You see them time, man become the Bible now. Man become the living Bible because the same man who inspired man to write the Bible, as you come and learn the Bible, as you come and learn from the Holy Scriptures, same way, all Scripture is given by inspiration of God and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness. So if a man now living a life out and he needs some light in his soul, or some light in his lamp, oil in his lamp, he will heed into the words of the Holy Bible, the righteous words, the words of right. And by living the words of right now, you find now your lamp go enough, your lamp go shine by the words. It was. So when we come and go to the River Nile now, the man them who make it, because maybe everyone sell it, a few same way, and the Holy Bible come back and teach we same way. 144,000 elects. Children numbers I stand on the seashore. But when we going home now, we don't really need the Bible anymore. But when we reach Holy Mount Zion now, it's just natural. We living by the Bible same way. We wouldn't kill, we wouldn't steal, we wouldn't covet with neighbor wife. We go still Holy Sabbath. Nothing going to really change, my Lord. So we give thanks for the blessed moment, my Lord. Heart of
love. Yes, Rasta, sir. You could make that point you needed to make, and we seal it up as we go. Give thanks to everybody, everyone's patience. Yeah, and you mute, Rasta.
I have a question for Brethren.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
Got you.
Where would you say is the Garden of Eden?
Pardon me, I repeat the question, my Lord.
Where is the Garden of Eden?
Well, scriptural evidence, Ethiopia, my Lord. Ethiopia, my Lord. Ethiopia.
Okay, well, biblically, it says there are 4 rivers that come from the Garden of Eden. The Gihon, Pishon, the Tigris and the Euphrates, right?
Natural.
Where is the source of the Nile?
Well, the share, one come from Lake Tana, and the other one, well, you know, that's natural too, my lord. The two of them come and meet together and everything. One from Ethiopia, my lord, the source one start from Ethiopia itself, and one start from in Uganda, my lord.
Where is the source of the Tigris and the Euphrates?
My lord, when the I meet again, my lord, because I know the time we can slap on these things too. I'm gonna go in the archives and we know the eye, my lord. But we know from Ethiopia these four rivers come from, my lord, stem from.
See, that's one of the geographical errors in the Bible. Because the Bible is full of errors.
Yeah. Like, did Moses leave Egypt? Priest? Did Moses leave Egypt?
Baraka, okay.
Baraka asked a question here to the priest. Yeah. What did Moses cross the Red Sea after and kill a man? Yeah. Did he cross the Red Sea with the Israelite? Did that happen?
Who asked me or Jassy?
Any one of the priests there, Baba Shanti, or Bible man?
No, make Jassy answer, man. No, I can't.
All right, yeah,
but
Jassy,
right now.
please, my lad. You know, did
come
Moses
up on the spot tonight.
Yeah, did Moses cross the Red Sea?
What's the question, my lord?
He was asking if Moses crossed the Red Sea.
Yes.
What about the killer man? All right.
Yeah, that killer, yeah.
All right, my lord. The God who I praise, he make alive and he killing her. He wound and he heal. You know? So that's the God who I praise, you know?
Yeah, the same one that God who
kill, he make alive, he wound, he heal. The God who I praise now. He do all these things, my lord. Those who live not right, you know?
But did he cross the Red Sea?
I think that's the main question.
The Red
if
Sea?
he crossed the Red Sea.
Yeah, my lord. Well, that's natural. The Red Sea, the cross, you know? Even Rahab, when the man then.
This is a story, right? This is
Baraka, make him answer you good enough. Make him answer. As he beat Moses, let me clear. Let him give all the drops out. Go ahead, King. I don't expect you can take too long. Yes, Moses, yes, crossed the Red Sea, something about Rahab.
Yeah, man, Moses crossed the Red Sea, you know? Even Rahab and all, nobody film at the Red Sea. Yeah. It was a testimony, you know, for Israel to always remember. When we crossed the Red Sea out of Egypt, out of the land of bondage. You know? Yeah, my lord.
Yes, Ras Baraka. See the point you're making. Go ahead. Got you.
The point I'm making is this is that inaccurate. And what I'm trying to say, Rastafari always, we used to have groundation where we can figure out the tricks that Babylon put for us. So that crossing the Red Sea was one of the brainwash them put for us. So we pretend we are across the Red Sea and leave Egypt behind. So everything in Egypt bad. And we now gone ahead. So this is where that brainwash was done in the Nicene Council. It's written like that for you to believe that, King, right? So you have to understand that clear. That's my point with that for asking, because him lean on all the inaccuracies in the Bible. You just realize that, you know, him accept say, yeah, him man go and kill. And yes, the one man talk about the Bible of life. And you know already. The Bible thing cannot come to nothing logical. You can't come with nothing, nothing even common sense. And that's the problem.
No respect, Baraka. Give thanks to the chef. All right, let's move swiftly. Rasta said, coming out.
Come to me when you're finishing them. We still want to seal up, but we just ask a question.
Yeah, but we really on the time. Let me hear Rasta said. We can see how we go. Oh man, they tell me Rasta said God. Oh my Rasta said he couldn't hold on. Okay.
Yes, sir. I'm there. Sorry.
Sure.
Well, yeah. Well, what I wish to say really, you know, because this is something that, as I man say, I man go through the Bible, and I man arrive at the understanding that I man have now. That tells me that anybody else can do it. The real question is now, what it is that keeping people hang up on the Bible. The sister suggests that it has to do with genetics. Okay, I man will have to accept that to some measure. But what I say differently. The funny thing about the Bible here is this. What really get ones who stuck up on the Bible stuck up is not that they cannot appreciate the African system and them. They know. They're glad to celebrate and they're glad to celebrate Egypt and everything as the original place so that the credit go back to Africa and not to the Hebrew and Israelite who are credited for creating the biblical writings. So the ones and them who hold the Bible, you know, then totally accept the African spiritual system as being good and creditable, but yet still they hang up. Now, the reason, because this is something that I man think out a lot. I think about this a lot because I man mean to bring reasoning for move away from the Bible. So I have to consider all the ramifications. And the one thing that I see that I gotta have ones in a kind of limbo is the fact that in that same book with all the confusion, by the way, let me say this quickly. The confusion and inaccuracy that in the Bible, it's more based on the literal interpretation of the Bible.
Yes.
If anybody claim literal interpretation of the Bible, then everything that the brother from JA and so say about a killer and all the rest of it, all of that will apply because you interpret it literally.
Yes.
You understand? So at the literal interpretation are where the problem really there. If you interpret the Bible symbolically, applying metaphysics to it, it makes sense.
Yes, 100%.
It makes sense when you do it, when you interpret the Bible symbolically, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Why man see have one hang up is the fact that one see encoded in these stories divine truth. And you can't deny that. You can't deny that there are divine truth in the Bible as well. So you see where the Bible becomes dangerous for I and I is when we take it literal, when we try to make it into history and make historical claims, because then when you go through it now, you're gonna find inaccuracies like where Heru just highlight about the rivers. You see? So with me, I'm on very.
You hit mute. You hit your mute button. Yeah. One miss a drop away.
I'm very tolerant of the ones and them who still linger. You understand? I'm on a wish for bash them. I'm on a wish for insult them and do all of that. Because I know that encoded in the same book are the truth. Now, if you do not approach the Bible with this literal thing, you can extract truth from it. You understand? Because I can use the Bible and teach anybody to find self. It's just that I can't do so by interpreting the Bible literally. Else mean a problem. Because it make not in a logical. A lot of things in the Bible, if you interpret literally, it is not logical. It is not practical. What the brethren say?
Hey, hit mute again. Yeah.
The button again.
Yeah, he get it. Yeah.
Findings suggest that where Palestine, present day Israel is today, and people can look up the video on YouTube, The Bible on Earth, I'll get the book. Which part present day Israel day today, back in the 13th century BC, which are the date line they used for Moses, that location where Israel day today was a province of Egypt, because Egypt extended from where it is today to compass the whole of the Middle East. It was after Alexander the Great conquered Egypt, which they gained control over that whole Middle Eastern territory. And then subsequent to that, after the Ottoman Turks defeat the Romans who took over from the Greeks, that then divide up the Middle East and create all the Middle Eastern nation.
King David was in Egypt, my lord. King David and King Solomon was in Egypt.
Come again?
King David and King Solomon, they was in Egypt.
If there was in Egypt,
I hear you say Egypt will rule Egypt will rule till the time of Greece. I hear you say the whole Middle East till the time of Greece.
Yes. This is
So
the reason why.
Go
ahead. Sorry, let me hear you.
So that will ask the question now: if King David and King Solomon time and they was in time of Egypt, if them was in Egypt then, because you now say Egypt will rule the whole of the Middle East. Only when the Greeks come.
Yeah, but King David and Solomon weren't real characters.
All right, bless the love, my lord. You continue, my lord.
They are historical figures. They never existed.
Heart of love, my lord.
Yes, Ian. But this is why I say, Rasta. To me, this is something that I and I have to just speak the truth, that the Bible does have divine truth encoded in the story. If you approach the book with the right interpretation, which is symbolic, you will get substance out of it. But notwithstanding that you can get substance out of it, it should not be a reason for I and I for hang up I and I self and the Bible, because as I asked the question earlier, what can the Bible do for us that our spiritual system in Africa cannot do? And nobody can say that the Bible can do anything that our system in Africa cannot do. They cannot say that, because the very story in the Bible, all the symbology in the Bible were taken for I and I. So that's what I would wish to say to the ones and them who still, because they can find divine truth in the Bible, somehow want to hold on to it as though if they let it go, they're going to lose something. You're not going to lose anything, because it is all in our African tradition, nonetheless. They took it from there. So this is how I would wish to reason to the ones and them who still find it difficult to break from the Bible, because they're seeing this truth, this compelling truth that they themselves live and experience by holding the principles and so on in the Bible of uprightness and all these things. I do that, and I get substance out of it. So I can understand why other ones now find it really difficult to say just dispense of it had no value. And we should not speak in those terms. We the ones who are advocating for Rastafari to align with African spiritual system, we should not go along the line and reason in that way. Let's reason honestly and openly, because we can make the case honestly and openly. There is very important to recognize that there are cultural difference between the two positions too. Anybody can find God. The Chinese and then can find the God with them Buddha. The Indian can find it with their Hindu. And you can go on and on with different religious systems across cultures. You understand? They all can find it. You see? So really and truly, I and I position have to be one of recognizing these things, because that makes it a complicated matter for reason, because one's actually deal with the Bible and them find things that resonate in their life for real. And no amount of insults that I and I who find this light now and are embracing the African tradition, no amount of insult that we hurdle up on these people are gonna make them change, because they have a real life experience that compel them. So I and I approach to reasoning with these ones have to be different. It cannot be that you condemn it and throw away the Bible so. We have to speak the truth, that divine truth is encoded in the stories. But that doesn't give us any reason, nonetheless, to hold on to it, because what the Bible gives, we can get it in our African tradition. And there's where I would wish to really just kind of close it out.
Give thanks, family. And Ras Rafiq, you were saying in the comment that I assume is that he learning a lot from this discussion here. And that is what it's all about, you know, learning a lot. Family, we're gonna seal up, you know, I'm gonna just make was here, get that sealing word as far as my panelists that I invited. And then of course, Ras Cypher will just guide me in going out as well. So,
So you know,
well, the time really and us kick very
yeah,
much
fire, but it looked like it looked like you are push the Bible man them up front, and then you just
I know
push
that,
where I and I.
All right.
And remember, I and I speak the least, you know.
Oh yeah.
So and
no, my lord,
balance.
please. Let's not go there. What I'm saying, I
Oh,
have
why-
an
why-
invite.
why-
No, hold on.
already-
No, hold on. Let's take it easy. I didn't all of that. I have an invited guest of panelists. That's what it is. I mean, we have to kind of be a little more adept than this man. And the time has passed, my brethren. It's not all of that. And these are the people who have to give preference into the ceiling. And then Cypher Selassie is my co-host. And I think everyone was quite humble to the evening and was the hero who went talk now. And I don't think I pushed
so I'm not invited then. So how we get the link?
No, you know,
I
have.
And so everyone not forget to speak, fire.
Bridget, please.
And I go because Tiger Temple, I'm a lion.
Let's do that, Jack. Everything that. But the time.
Lions have cried victim.
Yeah, man. I think everybody can.
Because what Ross Icer and just I said, my lad, it's a water down very no go say you the man if you get you can use that time when man I decode and and achieve a little bit more. We can actually go learn a bit more skills. A 3 degree me get since me put on the Bible and king. And we read the Quran and the Bhagavad Gita, you know, 2 times, you know. So we can't seal up the reason when man talk about say we are gonna decode the Bible, and then you give your priest 2 times to speak. That's why the sister left the reason and we can't understand. So we're in a situation where the man them attack this illness and push with sense. So now you shut down the man. Then look, Rastafari is there, and the Rastafari have the initiation program with decolonize mind, and you know the Rasta speak. Oh, what would I deal with?
Okay, my lord.
Give now.
I opened the door.
Then everybody
argumentative Rasta.
No, I am muting him now. That's overdoing my bridge. Let me just take a moment to say something. I'm sorry, I'm off the end, so but you see them things the way called childish. I opened the door so you can get your last word, and you still chastising me for who I make talk and who I don't make talk. Not because I humbled you the whole thing, the man. And you tell me why the sister leave. I wouldn't even get into that. Just humble yourself, fire. Man need to come a little more adult than this. If you say you're respecting the audience and you're coming with a specific point of view. How would I look and there with your point of view now? I should just cool, man. I opened the door for you to finish off, you know, and you're still telling me this and telling me that and who am I working with and who am I working with. And the argument about the brother have a Kafra gave his ceiling up already. And I didn't even know the man had a foundation. The sister said the same thing, you know, instead of we here talking about Bible, I should have checked for the man and his foundation. I mean, wow, ones need to be a little more calm, man. I mean, we don't have to go on so. We don't have to go on so tall. Yes, Heru, please give me your seal of words.
Rastafari.
Yes, my lord.
Well, the problem with the Bible is because it comes from a different culture of individualism. So each of us can afford to have our different notions, and it's really about our relationship to the divine. But when we speak on a communal and social level, when we speak of seeking for our African history, because remember we were told that we didn't have a history. And we didn't have any wisdom writings. So this is what we're here to rediscover. We're here to rediscover what was taken from us. And the closer we get to that, sooner or later, of course, we'll have to put down the Judeo-Christian myth. But really and truly, we have a relationship with that Bible more so than the ordinary Christian because of Haile Selassie I. Mm-hmm. But that is because we assume that Haile Selassie was perfect. And even the scientists of today who don't even cannot even fathom how a perfect human being would behave. So we have to analyze our perception. Is it a westernized view of divinity? That we await for a savior and that one man would die and take away all our sins. You know, so these are all foreign concepts to African people. And of course, it came accompanied with violence because we could not accept this creature that had the audacity to create everyone and yet have a chosen people. So this is because the bigotry of Christianity on the whole, in ancient and both in modern, in the discovery of the Western world, because they came with this same notion that if you don't worship their God, that, you know, a system of polarization. And the Western world is really created from polarization. But we know there are degrees in life, in everything. And you'll find Rastafari that they love the Bible, but they're not too strong in research and reading. So they cling to it. In the system of Ptah, Sekhmet, Neferatum, there's the spark of creation and the fire of destruction. So if we are to destroy something, we have to be willing to create something. We cannot take away the Bible and then leave the person hanging. So if we are to remove the Bible, we should have a system in place. No longer gospel songs, but we look back to the words of our ancestors written in stone and we make chants out of them. So that we are reclaiming something that was stolen and taken from us. Ethiopia is a whole different experience when you watch at the total experience of the missionary in Africa. Haile Selassie in his speeches praises the missionaries. Most of the speeches regarding Christianity of His Majesty were made to Europeans. If you look at these speeches to Africans, they are different speeches. Because you see, religion is a tool. It's not to be a master, but a servant. And we must know how to use that tool. And right now, our tool needs sharpening because we have more information. So therefore, we must evolve. We must adapt to it and keep on seeking and searching for, like the brethren say, the half that's never been told. So the Bible can be a book on your shelf. You can read it. You can read Socrates, you can read Plato, you can read Descartes, you can read Schopenhauer, but you can still read Shiganta Diop. You can read about Blyden. We should read about Blyden and study his life and what he went through. And in the end, how he stood with imperialism. What happened to him in Africa. So there are stories when we look back in our history and see what happened to great figures. Look at Martin Delaney. Look at his struggles. So there are many different aspects to it. But the Bible seals us off from that because, like it says, don't add, don't take away. So therefore, you're in a box and you cannot open your wings to grow and fly away. So I'll seal up just with that. Uncle Jas Neb, Duawu, Nebecher, Duawu.
Although I think Kafra gave his sealing, brother, we'd have to, I don't know if I put you on the spot now, Ras Kafra, but I would love to do an interview with the one-on-one, you know, on the YouTube as far as it relates to the GRC. And since everyone is saying that maybe like I'm not paying attention to what you have there, I don't know. So let me humble myself and pay attention now. And maybe we could get some more information out to the people. You understand? So they know exactly what's going on and see. Because it's all about evolving our people and taking the thing to another level, you know. So I don't know, whenever you're ready, you can tell me if it's possible. We could work it out.
Sir.
Right, I don't know, you have my email, it's not that hard to find.
Phone number in the chat.
Okay, then, yeah, let's trade in the chat. I asked the Honorable Empress Naya to just take that number for me out to the chat. Family, the time really an idea. I'm gonna give Cypher Selassie the last word, but let me just say this still, you know, family. In all due respect, anyone, right, that has ever hosted any sort of radio program, television program, when you have all these people that you have to deal with. I think I was very fair to each and everyone this evening. I don't think I cut anybody off. I don't think I even rushed anybody on the microphone. I don't think I put no one above anyone else. Maybe didn't go as smooth as I would have thought, but I worked with the flow as it came, and that's it. So if anyone, for whatever reason, feel I was either disrespectful or unfair, well, pardon me. I will try better next time. Give thanks. Cypher Selassie, give us the sealing word, you know.
Yes, beloved, give thanks. Well, I would say that the brother Ison has said many things which I agree with. I agree with him very, you know, look, that the Bible should stay on the shelf. That is not about, it should not be dashed, you know, we shouldn't dash it away. We should keep it. And because as Rastafari, as a people, you know, there is much research that is going on where we can really find the truth of that book one day, which is where we come together as a people, as the body of Rastafari, to find the truth of what that book really is. Because because we all have so many different disciplines which we are studying. You know, the I has his discipline, I have my discipline. The brother who just spoke, I can see he has plenty of discipline. You know, Rasa Ison has plenty of discipline. So this discipline, this is why the temple is such a great concept which you're bringing forward, my brethren, because where we can come together, maybe not in agreement, but we can glean snippets of information from each other, which enhance our whole research, the research as a whole. So that is all I would wish to say on that respect. The people who want to burn the Bible and put the Bible in the bin, I would say to those people that don't be hasty. That would be my advice as a person who is researching on the levels that you know that I research on in this matter. So I would say to those people. And apart from that, I would say to each and every one, may the love of Kadamawi Haile Selassie and Empress Menen be with us all and bless us all and all of our family. Rastafari.
Rastafari. Family, we're going to just bless it out right now. I know it's a warm evening. Give thanks to the love and salam to Hotep. Blessings to all. Give thanks. Blessed Lord.